Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Imaginary Engineering. This is Kirti. In this video we are going to build event management REST APIs and then we will create a small React application using that REST APIs. So in this video I will cover so many things, so I will divide the video into the multiple part. We will see the Spring security, then we will see JWT token, role-based authorization, authentication, then we will see the mapping, many-to-many mapping, paging, sorting, then we will see how we can organize the API in Postman, how to create a collection, then environment variable, scripts, how to write a script in Postman. We will see all these things. So I will highly recommend you to watch this video. If you are a beginner, then this video is really gonna helpful for you. So before we start, I will walk you through all the REST APIs so you will get an idea. So let's start with this login. So in the body I have sent the email and password and then click on the send. It will return the token, as you can see here. Now we can use this token to authenticate the user. So we have all the REST APIs. I will start from this add event. It will add the new event. This is the post method. First I will select the bearer token auth type and this token variable that hold the token value /event, and instead of the local host I will pass the environment variable URL, which value is localhost 5000. If I show you, this is the environment variable. We have token and URL. Now in the body I have passed the event name, start date, end date and fee. Let me change the name coding, and also I will change the fee. Click on send. Here the new event has been created. You can see ID 7. Now if I show you in a database, let me select this table event, that ID 7, that is the new event that we have just added. Next one is get all event. It will return all the events which are available. First choose the auth type and then here we go. Here it will return all the events that are available. Then next is update event. We can update the event. Go to the body. If I show you in database, we will update this second event. We will change the entry fee. Now it is 300 and also description is null right now. I will change it. I will give some description for the dance. So let's give the description something dancing, and fee I will make it 600. Click on send. Got the error. Let me select the auth type and then click on send, and here we get our response. It also stored the user who has created that event. Here you can see that description is updated and also fee has been updated. Also show you in database. If I go and here see, this description and entry fee has been updated in database also. So next one is a delete. So here I'm passing the ID in parameter. So let me pass the ID 7. Click on send. Here 204 no content, but it's successfully executed. Here I will select. You can see now 7 is not there. It has been deleted. Now next is get event by ID. So we will pass the ID and it will return the event. Here I have passed the ID 1 and then it will return the event 1. Then create user. You will create the new user. So let's create the new user. Let's say name Sri, email Sri @1234. click on send. 401, let me provide the token, bearer token, and then click on send. Here you can see the name, email, and role is user, and then password is hash password I have stored, and then by default role is user. Then we have the API for get user by ID. If I show you the users we have right now, we have the 4 users. So let's get the user by ID. I will pass the ID 1, and here we get the ID 1 user. Here Kirti, and role is admin. And then we have the register. Register is similar to the create user, so I will skip that. And then we have the login. We have already seen this login. It will return the token. We have passed the email and password, and then it will validate that and then return the token, JWT token. And also in script I have written this small script to update the environment variable whenever we log in. We will see this later in this video. Next is authenticate. It will return the authentication object. Click on the send. Here you can see it return the principal details, credentials, password, authorities. Even if you don't get it right now, I will cover all these things later in this video. So next is admin. So before come to this admin part, I will show you the mapping. Menu to menu mapping we have between the user and event. I will show here. Here we have the 3 tables: event, event user, and user. That user can register for the many events, and many user can register for the many events. So there is a menu to many mapping. Here in the table you can see user 1 is registered for the event 1, and user 1 is also registered for the event 2. So basically user 1 registered for the 2 event. So let's go to this postman, and this is our put method. Before that I will show you this login. We have login using this user Kajol @1234. This Kajol has the user ID 2, and there is no user ID 2, means is not registered for the any event. So get event by user ID. It will return the all the events that user has registered. Here since the Kajol is not registered for any event, so it return the empty list. If I show you the database, then you will understand it better. So let me show you this user table. Here you can see the Kirti has the ID 1. So let me log in with the Kirti. Click on send. Now we will get all the event that user has login. Click on send. Here you see we get the event whose ID is 1, and then event ID is 2. If you see in the table, let me run this table. Here you can see user 1 registered for the event 1 and 2. Now our user can also register for the event 4. So let's register for the event 4 and click on send. Here it return the all the events that user has registered. Event ID 4, 2, 1. Here you can see. Now here if I refresh this, let me select. Now new event has been registered. You can see this 4 event has been registered. Then this is the delete user event. So if user want to withdraw from the event, so it let me pass the event ID, and now user has been withdraw from that event. If I run this table, now here you see the event 4 registration has been cancelled. Now let's see this admin part. I have login with the Kirti and Kirti has the admin right. Here if I show you, this is the token. I will copy this and paste it here. User is Kirti @1234 and role is admin. Click on send and here we get the response. Only admin user can access this admin page. Now next I will log in with the normal user. So let me log in with the Kajol. Click on send. Here we get the token back. Let me copy this token and I will paste it here. Now here you can see Kajol @1234 as the role user. Now I will go back to our admin. Click on send. Here you see it get the error. We get the error 403 forbidden, means that user does not have access to this admin page. So that's what we want. Also we will see the paging and sorting. So let me show you that also. So here is the get all event. It return the all the events. Paging has the parameter page and size. So size will define the elements, number of elements. Here I have give the 2, so it return the 2 element. If I give the 1, then it will return the 1 element. Then we have the parameter page. It indicate the page number. By default is index 0. Here I give the page number 1. Click on send and here you can see event ID is 2 on the second page. Now we'll go to the first page. Click on send and here you see event ID 1 is on the first page. We can also do the sorting. I will pass the parameter sort equal to, I want to sort this list by the name. So pass the attribute name. I will change the size and click on send. Here you see this is sorted by the name. I will remove this size and page, so we will see the sorting. Click on send. Here you see first one is a dance, then we have the music, then we have the painting. Now if I want to sort it in a descending order, I will pass the DESC, then painting will come first. Here you can see we have the painting, then music and then dance. So this is the sorting and pagination. And next I will show you the React application we will create using these REST APIs. I will enter the email and password 1234. Login. Now here user can see all the events and register for the event by click on this plus icon. Remove any events by click on this minus icon. So this is our home page. I will log out. Now user log out and try to go to the home page. So here you can see I'm not able to go to the home page. It will redirect me to the login page since we have implemented the protected route here. Now I will log in as a Kirti @1234. If I enter the incorrect password, it will give me the error message. Let me enter the correct password. Now we'll end up in the admin page. Here you can see the URL is /admin. Admin has a right to create a new event and delete the event. So let me add the new event here and click on the add. New event has been added successfully. Let me log in again. Here you see new event has been added. Also, your admin can delete that event by click on the delete icon. So this is the small application we will create. So let's start our coding part. First, let's create the Maven project. Choose the language Java, version 3.3.4. Don't choose the snapshot version because it's under development. Group name com.event, then artifact. This is our project name. Let's call it event management. Then give some description. Event management project using the packaging jar and Java 21 as it is. Then add the dependency, web dependency. Then I will add the next dependency, JPA, data JPA, so we can perform the data JPA query. Dev tool, so automatically rerun our application. MySQL driver, Lombok for getter setter methods. We are done, so I will click on generate. If you need any other dependency, we will add it later. First, I will copy this and go to this YouTube folder and paste it here. Extract here. I am using the IntelliJ ID. If you are using any other ID, then go for it. It doesn't matter. Let's open the project. Click on OK. Here it started downloading the things. Wait for some time. Now if I go to this form.xml file, here you can see all the dependency that we have added. Data JPA, Spring Boot Starter Web, DevTools, MySQL, Lombok. All this dependency version you can see here. Inside the src folder, we have the main and test folder. If I expand the main, we have the Java and resource folder. There is a static folder, template, and application.properties. I will open this file, main application file. Here you see the annotation Spring Boot application. This is the beginning of our application. It is a combination of the annotation, component, scan, enable configuration. It will scan all the base package component. This is the application.properties file where we configure our application. First, let's add the configuration. Here I'm using the MySQL. First, we will create the schema, database schema. So event, here I have created the database event. Now let's add the database URL, spring.database.url, jdbc:/mysql: localhost running on MySQL 3306/event. Event is our database name which we have just created. Then I will configure the password and username. My password is root and username is also root. Here we will make it to show SQL, so it will show the SQL statement. Then Hibernate DDL will make it update, so every time when we run our application, it will update the table. Instead of creating the new table, it will update the existing table. And server port, I have given the 5000. Our application will run on the port 5000. So all these properties we have set. Let's go here and run our application. Here you see the banner and lot of logs here. That is no need. So what I will do, I will just turn off this banner. main dot banner colon mode, and we will say off. And this, there is lot of logs we don't need, so it's kind of irritating, so I will say logging dot label root equal to 1. So it will show only logs, it will show the errors, don't worry, even if you turn off the log. Now if I start here, you see there is no banner, and also that logs are not there. But if you get any error, it will show the error on console, so don't worry. And for the auto build, here you can go to the setting, go to the compiler, and click on this build project automatically. Make sure this is tick selected and click on the OK. Now we have configured all the properties. So first I will create the package. First I will create the entity package. Then second package I will create for the controllers. Then we have the service, and then we have the repository package. We'll create request goes to the controller, and then service we write our business logic, and repository layer will talk to the database. So these are the 4 packages I have created. So let's start with the controller. I will create the event controller first. So just test out some APIs. So I will create the controller event controller and add the annotation REST controller. Here import from the Spring framework. Now I will create the method, simple hello method. It will return the string hello. This is our get request using the annotation, get mapping annotation. Let me rerun. Now we go to the browser and type localhost 5000 since our application is running on 5000. Here we get the hello, means everything is working fine. Here our application is running on 5000. Now we go to the controller. Here we return the hello. This is Jackson library. It will convert the object to the JSON to object. Now next we'll first start with the entity. We will create the event entity and add the annotation entity to indicate this class is a entity. And this table will be created, event table will be created in database. Adding the property ID, then I will add the property name, private string, description. Also I will add the start date and end date of event. Then also I will add the property fee. Now we have added all the property. This ID I want to be a primary key, so add the annotation ID. So this will be our primary key of our table. Then I want this ID automatically generate, auto increment, so add the annotation generation value. And strategy, I will select the identity. There are another generation type also, auto, table, sequence. You can choose according to your need. Then this column fee, I want to change the column name, so I will say column annotation and choose the name entry fee. This property is our columns and class is our table name. Also for the start date, I want the specify some specific particular pattern to accept the date, so there is a notation for that JSON format, and where then we will pass the pattern, in which pattern we want to specify the date. I want the year, month, then date, so I will say y, month and date. Then same goes to for end date also. Here if you want to change this, I will add the annotation data for getter setter method. Then all argument constructor from the long book, then no argument constructor. And if you want to change this table name, use the annotation table and pass the name tlp underscore event I want. Now we are done, so let's go and check here. I will refresh. Here you see our table has been created. Table name is tbl table underscore event, and which contain all this column id, description, end date, entry fee. Yeah, that's good. Now next we go to the repository and create the event repo. This is the interface, so event repository. This interface expand another interface, which is the JPA repository, which help us to perform the all our CRUD operation. We pass the entity name is event, and primary key is a long type, and we can give the annotation repository. This JPA repository internally extend this annotation repository, so even if you don't give, it's okay. So let me remove this repository annotation. Next we will create the service class. Let me remove this unused import, and then we will create the service class. First I will create the interface. First we define the all the method signature, and then we will create the service implementation class. This is the event service interface. Here we define all the method signature. First I want to create method for the user event, so create event method, which will take the event object as a parameter and return the newly created event. Let me import this event. Then next method, get the event by id. It will take the id as a parameter and return the event. Then I want to add the event method to get all the events, which will return the list of events. Let me keep this method after the get all events. Next method, to update the event, and it will take the two parameter. First one is the updated event and second one is the id. It will update the event by id and return the event. Then next method is delete event. It will take the id and delete that particular event. So these are the particular methods we are going to implement. I will create a new package first, and let's name it event or service implementation. Service IMPL this is our service implementation, and which contain all the classes, implementation classes. So we'll say event service implementation class, and this class implement the event service interface, and I will add the annotation service. So indicate this class as a service class and implements the interface event service. Now we need to implement all the methods which contain an event service. Now these are all the methods that we define in the interface, and we provide the implementation here. First, I will define the object of event repository, so we can perform the CRUD operation using this event repository. Add the annotation auto-wire. Now first one is create event. I will remove this. To save the event, we have the method save. So return event repository dot save method we have, and we will pass the new event as a parameter, and it will return the event. Then second, we have the get all event. To get all event, we have the method called as a find all. To get all records in repository, we have the method find all. It will return the list of event. Then get event by id. For that, we have the method find by id. Here find by id, and we pass the id. It return the optional. If that id does not found, then it will throw the error. So we will say or else throw new runtime exception event not found. Event is not found, and if it is found, then it will return the event object. Now next is update event. So first we will get the event by id. So let's call the method get event by id. It will return the event, and then we will update this event object. Let's first update the name. We have the method set name. First we check the event dot get name is not equal to null. Then we set the current value from event dot get name. Otherwise, if it is null, that means user not provided the value. Then we will keep the existing value as it is a dot get name. Same we will do for the all the property. We have the set description. Then we have the start date, end date, fee. Here we check if the description is not equal to null. Then we update it event dot get description. Otherwise, we will keep the existing description as it is. Same we will do for the start date. First we check if this user has provided the start date or not. We check start date is null or not. It is not equal to null. Then we will update it with the latest value. Otherwise, we will keep the existing value as it is. Then we have the end date. If the end date is not equal to null, then we will update it with the current value, latest value. Otherwise, we will keep the existing value for as it is. Then we have the fee. We check if the fee is not equal to null, that means we will update with the current value. Otherwise, we will keep the existing value as it is. Then next step is we will update this and save in database. So we'll call this save method and update this event and return the updated event. So this is our update. I will change the theme. It not looks good, so I will change it. It looks good to me, so I will just change this theme. So for now we have created the get all event, event by id, update event. Now one method is remaining, delete event. So let's see delete event. So here we can use the delete by id directly, but first I will get the event from the database, get event by id. In case that id is not present, then it will throw an error. Here if you see, there are many methods: delete, delete by id, delete all. So I'm using the method delete, first one, and then we will pass our event object. It will delete that particular records in from database. So we have implement all the methods. So let's go to the controllers. We'll create the our endpoints. Here I will remove this. First I will add the annotation, request mapping, and slash event. Every API is our start with this event slash event. Now first I will add the get mapping request, get all the events. It will return the list of event. Let me import the list and event. Let's call it get all events, not accepting any parameter. And also we need the object of event service. Event service is interface, but yeah, this is the reference variable. Using that also we can call the method and get all event. So it will return the all the event. I want to return the HTTP status also. So we'll use the response entity object, new response entity. It will take two things that we want to return, and HTTP status will be here. Okay, I will return. Currently we don't have any event at the, so create a new event. We add the post method, public, return the new event response entity. Let's call it create event, request body, bind the event object, extract the data from request. Then we'll return the response entity object, call our method create event. So it will save the event in database and return the response HTTP status created. So this is our two method, get and post. Let's go to the postman and test these two methods. Here first I will create the new collection. Click on new to create a new collection. Select the collection option. Now here we can give the name to our collection. I will call it event management API. Since we are testing for the development, I will say dev. Let me give some space between the management and API. Yes, now it looks fine. So our new collection is ready. Now we can test. Click on add a request. First we will add the event, since we don't have any event in our database. So first we test our post method. Select the post and URL is localhost 5000 event. If I show you here, refresh the page, here we have the table event. If I select, here we don't have any record right now. Let's add a body. We give the event name music. Then we have the another properties like a start date, end date, and event fee. I'm giving any random value. Let's say 2024 month 10th and date 5. Then provide the end date, and I will also provide the entry fee. Let's say entry fee is 300. Now click on send, and here we get the response 201 created. Description is null because we haven't provided, but all the things we get. Now let's save this request. Click on the save here. Now let's test the our get method. It will return the all the events. So here currently we have only one event, so and we get the event 1 first, and let's save this API also. Call it get event, get all event, and click on save. This is our post method. Let's add another event. Let's call it dancing, and click on send. Here the second event has been added, and now if I click on get method, now here you see we return the two events. We can create the environment also. So I will create the environment and add one variable URL, because we are hard-coded the value localhost 5000. So instead of that hard-coded value, we will get it from the variable URL, and current value I will provide the localhost 5000, and our environment name is event API, and click on save. We go back to our API. Here I will remove this value localhost and take it from the environment variable URL. Same, we get the result as it is. And if you go over here, you see this is our environment, and which we have the one variable URL, and which current value is localhost 5000. Same we will do for the our post method. Now we are done. Let's go back to our ID and add the other method. Go to event controller. Let's add a method to get an event by ID. So get mapping, and we provide the ID as a parameter. We provide the ID. Sorry, yeah, this curly braces inside the double quote. It will return the event, response entity, and type is event. We'll call the method get event by ID. We get the fetch the ID from the URL. So path variable long, type is long, and ID. It will fetch the ID parameter from the URL, and then we will return the response, new response entity object, and we have the method get event by ID. It will return the event by ID, and HTTP status we will return OK. Then we have the update method. So we will say put mapping for update. It will return the updated event object, and we call that method update event. And we pass the ID is parameter, so we'll pass the id, and we will fetch that id using the annotation path variable. Then we will return the new response entity object, and we have the method event service dot update. We have the update event method, which will take the two things, id and updated event. So also we need to pass the request body and event object, which is the updated event. It's showing the error, so let me check this update event method. I think the sequence is wrong, so let me go to this update event method. We have the event service implementation. Yes, first it take the event and then id. So come back here, I will change the sequence. This also I will change for the update event, and then event first come and then id. First we will pass the event and then event id, and then we will send the HTTP status. In the second argument we'll say okay, post put mapping. Now second is delete mapping to delete the event. We create a method public void, let's call it delete event by id. Then we will use the annotation request param to fetch the query parameter from the URL. We pass the id as a query parameter. Then we call the method. We have the method for delete by id, which accept the id as a parameter. Let's pass the id, and we send the HTTP status no content, so we'll return the response entity object. Return the new response entity, and we say HTTP status no content. Now we have created all the endpoints, so let's go to the Postman and test this all. First we will check what are the events we have right now, so we will make the get request to get all the events. Here we have the two events. The second event, you see the description is null, so we'll update the second event. So let's make a put request. /2, we send the id in URL. All the other things I will remove. I will keep the fee. We will update the fee also. Description, I will provide the description. This is the event for the dancing, so let's say dancing. And click on send. Now it returned the updated event. Here you can see now description is updated. Let's change the fee. Send. Now it's 500. Let's save this request. Let's call it update event. Click on the save. Next we will test the delete API and click on send. We get the error 405 method not allowed. Yes, yeah, we have to pass the query parameter. Here we pass the query parameter, so we add the question mark id equal to 2 key value pair we have added, and then click on the send. Here we get the response 204 no content, and that id is deleted, event is deleted. Let me save this event, delete event, and we check if that event is delete or not. So we go back to our get request, and I will say slash no 1 and click on send. It will return the event by id, and you can see the event 1 is written. Let me save this request. We have completed all the CRUD operation for the event and also test all the endpoints. Now we will create the REST APIs for the user. So let's create the user entity first. Go to the entity folder and create a new class, call it user. Add a annotation entity. Now inside the user I will add the property id, then we have the username, then user email and password. String password and email. Now these are the four properties, four column of our user table, and I want this id is a primary key, so we add a annotation id, and for the auto increment we add the generated value. We have already seen this in our event entity. And this email, I want this email is unique, so I will add the column unique true. Next I will add the getter setter method, so use the annotation getter setter from the Lombok. Then no argument constructor, this is the default constructor. Then all argument constructor, and if you want to change the table name, then use the annotation table. Here I'm not using this, I want a table name user. If you don't provide, it will take the class name as a table name. Then next I will create the repo, user repo. This is the interface which extend the interface JPA repository to perform the CRUD operation. User is our entity, log is our primary key type. Then I will add one method to check if that email is already exist or not. Exist by email, it will take the email as a parameter and return the boolean value true or false. We don't need to provide an implementation of this method behind the scene. Data JPA, write a SQL query for this. Select asterisk from table name where email equal to that email we have passed. So next we will go to the service folder and create an interface user service. Then next here we'll define the method to create a new user and find the user by id. So first create a user, it will take the user object and return the new user created. Then add another method get user by id, it will take the id as a parameter and return the user. Let's create the implementation class for this user service. User service impl, enter. This class implement the user service interface. Let me implement all the methods. We have this two method and we need the object of user repository. Add a annotation auto wired. Next, remove this return statement. First, to check if that email is already exist or not. We have the method exist by email, which will take the user email and check. If email is already exist, then we will throw the error runtime exception and provide the message email is already exist. Otherwise, we will return the user object, save the user in database. We have the method save and pass the new user object and it will return the user. Now get user by ID. We will check find by ID method and pass the ID. If that ID is not present, we will throw the exception or else throw new runtime exception user not found, and if user found, then it will return the user. Then we go to the controller, create a class user controller. We will create a REST endpoint for the user. Let's add a annotation REST controller. To create a user, post method public, it will return the user. Let's call it create user. It will take the user object and request body annotation to bind to the user object, and I am adding the request mapping annotation. Our API start with the /user. Now we need the user service object, so let's create a user service object. Use the annotation auto-add. User service has a method create user and it will take the user object and return the newly created user. Now I will create a get method /id and then public get the user by ID. Path variable, it will take a parameter from the URL, will take the ID and call the method get user by ID. And pass the ID. Now we are done. We have created the post and get method. So let's go to the Postman and test our these APIs. Here we are getting one error. It says this user service could not found. Maybe we missed the service annotation somewhere. So let's go to the user service and check. Here I will go to the user service implementation and here I have missed the service annotation. Let me add the service annotation here. So it will create a bin for this class. Now rerun. Oops, here we get the another error, invalid mapping pattern. Here I made a mistake /id. Now it's correct then ID. I hope now there is no mistake. Let me rerun. It's running, no error. So let's go to the Postman and test. Choose the method post. URL start with the user body. I will pass the name Kirti. Then we have the email and password. Kirti@123. Password 1234. Click on send. Here we get the response, new user has been created. If you check in MySQL user select, here new user has been created. Now let me go back. Then we have the get method. Let me save this method first. Create user, save. Next method is get a user by id, provide a id in URL. Here we get the user 1 because we have provided the id 1. So let me save this also. I have just created the two methods to create user and get user by id. I haven't created the rest of the all, I mean update and delete the user. I skip those, but you can easily perform all the CRUD operation. We have already seen all the CRUD operation in our event REST APIs, so you can easily implement that. So for this video, this is all. In next video we will see how we can implement the security JWT token. Thank you for watching.